Hi there, I'm Greg the Masked Gaymer, and I'm here with you on July 4th to hopefully, without the interruption of fireworks, talk to you about the game Chronicles of Drunagor, I don't know how to say it, Gore. This channel, in case you're new here, is dedicated to COVID safety and COVID cautiousness and the hobby of board gaming, which is a great thing that you can do while being COVID cautious, while masking, if you're with people who are also masking. But today I'm filming by myself, so I can actually remove my mask, and you can already see the fireworks happening outside, so that's going to be part and parcel of all this. But I guess that's kind of in theme for Chronicles of Drunagor, and we can talk about the fireworks and how they're actually the encroaching darkness, which is going to try to kill our heroes throughout this game. Let's talk a little bit about why I got Chronicles of Drunagor. I can't say it. Drunagor, whatever. So on my week off, I was torn between whether I was going to get this or Madara. I ended up getting Madara because people tend to like it more. That was a mistake. I hated Madara, and you can see my hate plays of the first two scenarios of that, but I recommend not watching the second one because it's miserable on my channel. Anywho, so since that happened, I watched the How to Play for this game on Adventures in Creative Software's YouTube channel, who also, by the way, does the boot camp for Oathsworn, as well as a How to Play series for Dawn of Madness, both of which are absolutely excellent, and I highly, highly recommend. Adventures in Creative Software, shout out. I will put a link to that in the comments. But it sold me on this game, so I got it. So what is Chronicles of Drunagor? It's a dungeon crawler, which means you walk around a dungeon with your little heroes, boop, 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 and you kill things, boom, boom, boom. And what I like about this game is, and what makes it really great for me as a solo player, is it gets rid of a lot of the extra, like, wah-wah that games like, we'll say, Madara have in terms of being very overly complicated. Movement in this can be forward or diagonal. Range, if you're adjacent, everything around you is in range. If you have a ranged attack, every range is one range of hex around you as long as you don't have a monster next to you. If you use an agility or a wisdom attack, you can attack from here all the way over there. It doesn't matter. There's no line of sight. It just makes it a whole lot more manageable in terms of mechanics. And so what are those mechanics? Well, what's really fun about this game, and you can kind of see this here in this character's spreadsheet over here. I'm going to do just, you can see parts of it. I didn't line this up great, but anyway, so each character has a few different abilities, and they have this set of cubes. And when you take your turn, you move and you can do two actions. And to do an action, you take a cube and you put it in its matching color slot. And then if you run out of cubes, you get to take those cubes back. And then you also add this demonically horrible curse cube, which permanently blocks an ability, and you can't use it again unless you remove the curse. And if you get too many curses, that's how you die and you get exhausted. So they have a stamina functionality within that as well. And what's cool is everything happens on your turn. You don't have to worry about what other people are doing during their turns, which is great for a solo player because you could just focus on one thing at a time. You get a few little actions you can do that don't take a cube, like you can find a treasure in a treasure chest, or you can use an item like a magic scroll, or you can open a door. And what's nifty is these doors actually fully have what's on the other side of them inside as a little setup sheet, and tells you what to do and what the next rule is instead of looking for something in a book. And if you happen to be replaying the game, they also have QR codes where you can get a randomized setup of that next room instead to keep things fresh. Now, when we talk about replayability and keeping things fresh, that's one of the places where this game does fall apart a little bit. There's something like 7 or 8 monster types, and I've already fought them all in the first 3 scenarios, and so it will get a little bit repetitive. I do wish that I had gotten the monster expansion pack, which would give me alternate monsters to use. I do wish I got the alternate hero pack because I'm running this with an assassin, a mage, and a cleric, and I'm Greg, so I wish I had a bard. I wish I had a necromancer, but I'm committed to doing at least this first campaign as is. if I go on to the second campaign, I'll probably buy some more stuff. What you have over here in the upper left-hand corner is the initiative track. And this is another one of the things that I find really unique and interesting about this. So each of my characters I assign a role to, and that could be defender, leader, support, striker, controller. You could play it up to 5 players to have every role. But what your role is what determines your space on the initiative track. So right now I have the cleric going first as a defender off to the side there, which you can barely see. But if I wanted to change the defender's role to be that of a controller, then the cleric would go here and the mage would go first. So I have a lot of control over controller over who goes where and who goes when. The monsters that come up also have their own always on initiative. So like this abomination will always go at the space of this gray ruin on the bottom, and you always go top to bottom. So you always know when things are going to go. You always know what the monsters are going to do, which is all really, really, really lovely. When it comes to attacking, monsters always do the same amount of damage, and you can use interrupts to defend. But when you attack, you do roll a 20-sided die. Most basic weapons need a 7+ to hit, which isn't so bad. But that's the only dice rolling really in the game is this 20-sided dice roll. Okay, you also roll dice to see if you sprung a trap, but that's not really a big deal. Now, where randomness comes into this game and where chaos comes into this game is at the end of each round, you have to draw a rune from this bag of doom. I love bags of doom. Bag of doom. And when you draw a rune, on the back, it has a symbol on it. And that symbol is a polynomial. And then over, you can't really see it, but over here, you have this set of polynomials, and then this darkness will spawn at these darkness points and kind of chase you around the map and kind of grow towards you and start to swallow you whole. And if it catches you and spawns under you during that phase, you take 2 damage. That's it. You take 2 damage. You're done. You take 2 damage. Bad news for you. If a monster attacks you from darkness, they do 2 extra damage to you. So this darkness is terrible. It counts as your counter and a timer, which is going to run out for you as you play through the game. And then that rune also goes onto this track. And if there's a monster on that spot of the track, it might power up the monster and make the monster stronger and do a much harder time as you go through the mission. So there's always a sense of urgency. Things are always dire. I barely squeezed through the second scenario. I lost the third scenario the first time, and I'm going to try it again today. And I'm playing with these kind of like expanded rules from the expansion, which you can see taking up space here already. And I think they're supposed to make the game harder because people thought the game was too easy. Well, I apparently suck at it because I've struggled, but I've had a really great time. I had a great time losing. The loss was a close loss. I love this so far. I love this to the extent that if I did have a group that came together every week on a standard basis, I might even consider pausing, not playing this solo, and making this be a group game. But I just don't have a group of people who's that solid right now. So first thoughts, I'll give a later video when I finish the campaign. First thoughts, Chronicles of Drunagor, love it, love it. I might like it more than Gloomhaven. I might like it more than Frosthaven. It might be my dungeon crawler of choice thus far, but I'm only on scenario 3, so I can't say too much yet. But that's it. I'm Greg, the Masked Gaymer. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and absolutely do not forget to keep your health bars full.